my rap falling, telling me that I'm falling. Spirits up in the morning, positive that I'm all in. Can't get under my skin, can't get sentimental, my friend. I was having fun a week ago.
That's the boy Sarkodie. Had to look him up to make sure he was Ghanaian. Wanted to play a Ghanaian song for Ghanaian Independence Day. Just happening. We're on the heels of it this weekend. What's going on, boys? Welcome.
Good.
What's up?
You are now tuned into the Eat, Pray, Ball podcast. As always, it's your host, Matt Marshall, with my co-host, some newcomers today. We'll get to him in a second. We got our boy, Chris Don Ohanian.
Good evening, guys.
Armenian boy living in California with us. We got JJ, Young Jeezy Jared back in the building after a little stint away.
What's going on?
Arsenal fan. He'll probably be whining about something today. And and last but not least, a newcomer, but he's been in our group chat for a little while, and he's finally on the show. Glad to have you, brother. Our boy Mateo.
What's up?
You're a Dominican Ghanaian brother, right?
I'm Dominican. Actually, I did my ancestry. It says I'm actually Nigerian.
Well, shit. I did my ancestry. It says I'm 93% Nigerian, so I don't know about 23andme.com, but whatever's clever, however it works.
Right.
We typically ask on this show, we can already kind of see it glowing through, but go ahead and tell us what team you support and why, if you could.
I have the team I support is Chelsea. I love Chelsea. I've been rocking with Chelsea for the longest since when I started actually playing football. I grew up. Obviously, I played baseball first. Then I got into American football, and then I transitioned to soccer. Yeah. So when I was in my transition, some of the guys that was kind of teaching me the ropes and playing with me, they were actually African, and Chelsea was a team that they was rocking, and being around them a lot, it just grew on me. And we just been rocking Chelsea since.
And then blue is the color ever since. That's so funny you say transition.
That's been the color since.
Like baseball, no. I have to transition away from that. But it's funny you say that because I do want to correct something I said on the podcast a while ago where I was telling my boys that the only Chelsea fans I meet are like very unattractive white guys who just either randomly fall upon it or like who are actually from London and that's just how it is. But you're right.
Yeah.
There is another half of the world and half of the Chelsea fan base, which are like Drogba, like African Drogba supporters who have just been, and it's not just Drogba. It's like all, like Makaleli, Essien, like everybody who's kind of been on the team. And that's kind of what drew me to Chelsea as well. Like, the brothers at the time that I started watching them play, like you said, Essien, Malouda, Anelka.
He was French, yeah?
Yeah, well, French African.
French by way Africa.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, but it was just more than Arsenal had to offer in Thierry Henry at the time.
Oh my God.
And blue is my favorite color, so that's just how it goes. But we got a good show for the listeners today. We're gonna be talking about some of these good games that happened this week. I want to do a little discussion on the handball rule and some other things, and then later on, I'm gonna be sitting down and talking with two young starlets for the LAFC youth team who are also on the U.S. national team. So that'll be the second half of the show, so stick around for that. But first, let's just talk about some of these games we watched. What y'all watch some of these games? What about Chelsea-Liverpool? Since Mateo's here.
Seen that.
Seen that.
Seen that.
I want to know because, I go on my little rants for a while, and I never get Chelsea fans on the pod often. But what do you think about Thomas Tuchel? What do you think about Lampard's firing? And where do you think?
See, that was a tough one, man, because I was a big Lampard fan too. So it was kind of tough to see him go. But I mean, we winning.
It's so tough, bro. Like, so here's my thing, and this is all I'll say about it. Yes, we haven't lost. We have not lost. We're winning. We've beaten Atletico Madrid. We've beaten Liverpool. We've beaten Tottenham. We've beaten some good sides. However, Liverpool is just lost right now.
They're
just
trash right now.
lost to
Yeah.
Fulham this weekend.
That's not a good job.
Tottenham just kind of ebb and flow. So getting a win there is not a. I mean, it's a big deal from like a London rivalry kind of thing, but it's not a big deal for me. Atletico Madrid, even though they had a good, okay showing against Real today, which we can talk about a little bit. They seem to be dipping in form too. So though we're getting wins against quality teams, they just don't feel like quality wins. And I'm just gonna say, and these guys know this, but I am a huge Neymar fan. So I've been following PSG for a while, ever since Tuchel got there. And that dude, he looked like he had zero idea what to do with that team full of stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm so worried that now that he's at a team like Chelsea that doesn't have that star power, like he's going to look good now because he looks like he's being tactical and he's a tactical technician. But does this team look like a team that's going to win a Premier League or a Champions League or anything like that? Exactly.
No way.
That pause is exactly why I'm just like, listen, I appreciate we're winning and that's cool, but that's not where I'm here for. What do y'all think about Liverpool right now, though? Like, what's up with?
I mean, they have no defense. Like, you can't sit there and like makeshift their center back pairings. You can have some dude from League Two and then some dude from Schalke.
Yeah.
They're bottom of the table in Germany. Like, you're missing Virgil van Dijk, who's probably top 3, if not top 1, not 2 or 3, best center backs in the world. And then Matip's gone, and so is
Gomez and
yeah. So I mean, and that's when the bottom half of your spine's gone. That's just tough to replace, and they've been trying to replace that like with Fabinho and they have Henderson playing center back too. So it's just tough.
Who's also injured right now. I mean, they get riddled with injuries. I mean, Andy Robinson was injured for a little bit, and then Alexander-Arnold was injured. But my thing is like, they were like absolute powerhouse a year ago. You're telling me that y'all can't figure something out defensively to stop the bleeding? Like
too many games, bro. They play way too many games.
But you don't think there should be a formation change? It doesn't seem like Klopp has changed any system since the Virgil van Dijk injury, let alone all the injuries after that. Like, at some point, do you go, shit, we don't have any center backs. Maybe we can't play a high line up to the half field anymore. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we need to sit in a shell. Maybe I should go watch some Mourinho tapes and figure out how to counterattack with Mane, Salah, Firmino, Jota, and all the other fast, quick, powerful forwards they have. Like, why? Like, does this
park the bus like Tuchel?
Tuchel not parking the bus, bro. We have reactivated Marcus Alonso, and y'all know.
Let me tell you exactly what's happening with Chelsea right now. What's happening with Arsenal last year with Arteta. You're going 5 back because you're not really too sure who your best pairing is at back or your best right back or left back. So you're doing 5 back, so it's hard to beat you. Or to get beat, but you're also you're going forward, but you're kind of boring going forward, and you guys aren't really scoring that many goals. No, honestly.
Yeah. We're getting some 1-0 wins and things like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of missed opportunities too. It ain't like we don't have the opportunities to make the goals. We have the opportunities. They're just not capitalizing.
We dominated the Liverpool game. Like, let's be real. Even possession was dominated by us. So it was kind of like, damn, like, is Liverpool?
But what's that saying though? When you have Jordan Henderson playing center back though. Like, that's not saying much to me that you guys dominated Liverpool this year.
They got Thiago in the midfield. Remember Thiago Alcantara, the most passes in Premier League history? Like, what? They got Wijnaldum. They have enough people to possess the ball. Like, they just look like... that's what I think. I think Klopp's system was, we have people you guys can't get past, and we are going to break up all play and send it forward fast as shit to Mo Salah and Sané. Whoever, and we're just gonna run at you, and they just don't have that this year, unfortunately. Yeah. So at some point, as a coach, you just got to switch shit up. We see Pep switch shit up, right? Like, Pep definitely,
the false 9.
Pep went.
Said, fuck the striker. I'll just go with all midfielders up top.
Which I think is weird, because how are you going to leave Aguero on the bench? While we're talking about that, the Manchester derby, which I think was probably out of the games we'll talk about this today, the best game of the week.
the Bayern Dortmund game was pretty good
Bayern
yesterday.
Dortmund was dope, but I have some words on that. We'll talk about Bayern Dortmund.
Okay.
But okay, so where are we at? Like, is City is just the champions? Nobody's even thinking about them dropping points. Like, is that just what it is? Like, is City just? First of all, go ahead.
I couldn't even beat their ass on FIFA. I sat there and stacked.
But I will tell you, they've had injuries too, and they looked horrible at the beginning of the year, and they've completely turned shit around. And it's been literally on the backs of Raheem and Gundogan.
And Ruben Diaz, who they bought.
Ruben Diaz, really?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Since his transfer, that entire back line, since his transfer and John Stones, like...
Yeah, John Stones has been playing well, too.
Yeah, like, those two have pretty much just laid down, their feet as, like, where this team's sitting back pairing. Because Laporte was playing for days, and then now I don't even see him playing anymore.
Nah, Laporte, like, got injured, and now I don't even know if he's in favor. But they just took this L.
Took an L for sure.
And I'm going to say United won that game. City didn't lose that game. Like, United went and took that shit. Like, it was like United smacked them in the face early, got that PK, and then City did some City shit and started passing the ball in a way that I was like, okay, this game's about to be 5-1, and they just could never score, and then United got another goal. So I don't know if that means anything for this title race this year, but like,
no.
What? So like, what do you see United doing? Like, is United winning Europa League? Is United winning a trophy? Is Ole gonna stay? No. He said no. What do you think, Chris? Like, is a United a squad, or does United need pieces, bro?
It's still fragile.
Yeah. I just think that's a club curse. That's a Sir Alex Ferguson curse.
Like, I've been pretty happy with. I mean, not happy, but like I've been pretty impressed with Ollie because Ollie's been taking some heat, like literally the last 2 years, and his team is second right now in the Prem.
100%.
So like I definitely was hating on him, like, oh, he got it because he was a player there. He had a good 6-7 months, but like he's like last year he did pretty well, and this year again they're sitting second right now in the league, which isn't really saying much. But he's kind of trash this year, but you're still there,
right? But
second. So I mean,
call me biased, and this is something your coach Arteta is gonna deal with too. But like as a Chelsea fan, that's why I'm kind of looking at like sometimes you just gotta trust the process. You don't, and again, that's not Chelsea's DNA. Like, we don't do that. We give managers 18-month contracts, and if you ain't getting the dubs we want, then you're out. But like, like you said, shit is changing a little bit. So like, like for me, I just wish things would have just shifted and we would have held on to Frank. Again, happy with what he's doing. We'll see what he does. But Arteta, the same thing. Like, he was low-key supposed to be out until y'all started stringing together some wins, like at the very last minute, like in December. And,
Yeah, no, it's just, again, it's one of those things where you were saying you have to trust the process because, like, for us, for Chelsea, even for Man U right now, it's like we're all still rebuilding, and so there are going to be some lulls where you just take L's and then you got to figure it out. And like, it's just again with Chelsea, you guys just have no mercy. It's like we've lost 4 in a row, like you're gone. And it's like, okay, that guy was the best coach for that team. Bring him. And it's like, no. So like, it's just, again, it's tough. It'll take growing pains, but if your board backs you the way they should, which most boards don't, unless you're like the top tier team.
Yeah.
You gotta trust in your young players, and then you gotta like make sure that your experienced players are actually like carrying your squad for the most part. Which is why we were trash when Aubameyang wasn't scoring. It was like, we kind of need that to kind of go on.
Your best player at least has to be producing. Your best player has to be producing. Let's talk about what you said was the best game, and I'm wondering if y'all still think, is Bayern the best team in the world?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So this is why I didn't think this game was the best game in the world this week, because like any real good game, if you go up 2-0, at very least the game has to end like it's got to be a nail biter for 3-2 win, or it's just or Dortmund should have won that game. And the fact that Bayern just kind of like played around with it and then just turned the fuck up and was just like, nah, we're all right, next. Like That's
You know how they know how to shift the gear. They first set on the second, and then at the last minute, let's do the third and
let's just go
dominate.
Go crazy. But to your point, and you've said this a lot, Chris, like the German way is really just like hand Bayern everything, and they'll look out for us, in the end or something like that. So like, could that switch you're talking about flipping be really just Bayern just being like, all right, like this was cute, but like come on, give us this game. I know it's not like that, but
I feel like obviously it's different to watch highlights than watching 90-minute games. I don't know how many times Bayern switch players, but as you can see, they have a stacked bench, so they know when to maneuver. They saw, Haaland is going out, let's take over, let's dominate. We know how to do it.
that is true. Haaland went out before like the 59th minute, and I thought that was just a bad coaching move, but he actually got hurt. He was hurt, injury.
What pisses me off about Bayern is even yesterday, their coach was talking about, like Haaland is a really good player, and it's like, okay, I can see once Lewa retires, then just getting Haaland, and then it's like that's just trash to me. Like Dortmund, stop selling all your best players to Bayern because you're not going to win anything. And yesterday it was like clear. But Gio Reyna was balling earlier this year. Like he got in like the 80th minute.
That's really.
You got Jude Bellingham getting in barely. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, and that's the only reason I watch the German league anyway, just to see the young Americans play. But outside of that, it's like an unwatchable league. Speaking of unwatchable leagues, did y'all even watch the Madrid derby?
No.
I watched the first half, and then I just asked Alexa,
bro,
what the score was the second half.
Right? Bro, like, why? And I'm going to say, like, I watched that game, like, so intently. I was trying to analyze it. And it's very technical. It's very technical. Like, the way they switch the ball, the touches they make, like, looked better than the Manchester game and the Bayern game. But it just feels slow and just boring as fuck and unwatchable. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know if Spain might be in some real trouble unless they can pick up. Maybe Haaland and Mbappe need to get out there soon.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just we all knew with Ronnie leaving, it'd lose some star power, but like, it Messi still, but Messi's kind of in and out. So it's like next year, like who's gonna be balling in Spain, and will we even care who's balling in Spain?
Will we care? I'm gonna tell you.
Like, I don't care about Rodrigo that much. I mean, he balls, but like maybe in like 3 or 4 years, yeah. But right now, like, no. I mean, you have Hazard, it's trash per usual. You know what I heard too, actually? He wouldn't practice well at Chelsea and just turn up for the games. And so I feel like because you're going to Madrid, like training is like for real deal training. A, he was out of shape, and B, I don't think he was just that sharp enough to play with Madrid because he's just looked like trash ever since he's gone there. Like absolute garbage.
I agree with you. He looks like garbage. I don't know what's going on with him. Yes, he's got a lot of injuries, but I will say, like, if he wasn't training consistently at Chelsea and he was producing what he produced for us, then he should be balling at Madrid because training only makes players better. So I don't
The mentality is different though. Like when you're just used to just showing up and just kind of fucking around.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, like I can do that, and you get hurt because you aren't really stretching, you aren't really doing anything you should be doing.
And maybe he's having trouble with Spanish. Like I don't, it's just such a weird move, and I'd love to talk to a player, about transitioning from like England and to and into Spain and all around. Oh,
George.
Special guest popping in.
I have to, an African star, I have to come late.
Our African boy, our Ghanaian boy coming late, but we'll give it to you because you're right on time in Ghana time. Yo, we were talking about before you hopped on, we were talking about how trash Hazard is, but I'm over that.
Oh, so yeah, remember what I said in the beginning of the season? Oh, okay. Good. I'm happy I missed it.
Nobody was going. But you know what else you said at the beginning of the season that I have to bring back since you're on? You were one of the key people who said you would rather Mane over Raheem Sterling. This is him right here.
I would too.
I did.
Bro. Okay.
Easy.
I was quiet. After today, where was Sterling today?
What? Sterling's
he
at
was
the top.
He was in Aaron's pocket all game.
Sterling's at the top of the table. Where was Mane yesterday?
Look.
Where had Mane been all year?
I don't know what's going on between Salah and Mane. I think Salah is more jealous of Mane, but
Bro.
that's another discussion.
Bro, I've seen Mane hit the ball over the bar, wide of the bar, to the keeper, to the defender, too many times for you to be blaming Salah for how trash he's playing right now. But I hear what you're
Trash.
saying.
Came for them today. What do you mean?
Huh?
Trash?
Trash. Do you know how many goals Mane scored this year? Do you want me to show you?
Dog, how many times can he just carry Liverpool and score massive crucial goals?
For 2 games, I think.
Bro, the only time he did it was when he scored 1 goal less than Salah in the same year. So I don't know what carrying means, but I'm going to tell you right now,
Scoring the big games.
his 7 Premier League goals and his 2 UEFA Champions League goals ain't going to cut it. Ain't going to cut it.
Yeah, tough year for sure.
So much off the ball.
But look, let's go to the rules right now, bro. I've been seeing this too much. I've got a couple videos we can look through, but this is about VAR and the handball rule. You know, it's been a while since we've talked about VAR, but I've been seeing these handballs this year, bro, and they are getting out of hand. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna read you the official FIFA rules of handball, and we're gonna see at some of these examples, and y'all tell me maybe what you would change or how you would define a handball. And I'm thinking handball in the box. I'm not thinking about anything else anywhere on the pitch. It's a handball in the box. It is a handball if an offensive player deliberately touches the ball with their hand, forearm. For example, if you move your hand or forearm towards the ball and touch it, or if their hand or forearm touches it when it is in an unnatural position. So maybe they didn't intentionally touch it, but if your hand is just out in an unnatural position, it's a handball. The consequence of or justifiable by the player's body movement. So I guess if you're swinging your arms because you're running and the ball hits you, maybe that's not a handball. But in this year's rule, because they changed it this year, any score, right, twice, because they just changed it, and we'll talk about that. They changed it after this Lamina that I'll show you, this Lamina handball. But basically, anytime the ball touches a player's hand and it works in their favor, essentially, they get a goal-scoring opportunity out of it, it's a handball. Now, looking at this video, we'll start with Chelsea. I would say that this is a handball. I would say that this, as being a defender, is an unnatural position. However, if a ball's coming at you and you're kind of backing up, like, is that an unnatural position, or is that like I'm flinching? I don't know.
And you're trying to stretch out too. Like you're trying to stretch for the ball in case you miss the cross. So I can see your arms being stretched out.
I know you see this Lamina one that was actually given a penalty, and
that's absolutely handball. Like they didn't call this, and they were like, "Oh, his arm was by his body." Bro, he moved his fucking arm.
He got sauced and like sometimes because I'm a defender, so sometimes in practice you'll be like, damn, fuck that shit, and then you just put your hand up. That happens in the game too.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, and you put your hand out, and it's like, fucking handball.
But what I'm saying is, like, doesn't it put defenders at an unfair advantage? Or at an unfair disadvantage if they have to worry so much about somebody trying to kick the ball up. Like, I mean, even with Pepe, that wasn't a cross, bro. Like, that was like he did sauce moves, and then he just tried to flick it around, and obviously the guy is trying to get closer to him. His hand was super stretched, though. His hand was super stretched out, and it went down, and it went down. Yeah. But again, should he be having his hands behind the back? You remember the years where, like, Sergio Ramos and every defender would... Like, that's not natural.
Navarro, they all used to do that.
Yeah.
What would you do? What would you do to change the handball rule? Like, what? And I'm talking about with VAR too. Like, because another thing is, if we have specific rules that define whether a handball is or not, then why would you leave it up to the ref on the field to call it? Like, if you have all these video cameras, then why don't you just go, hey man, on the field, that's a handball. Let's just go ahead and give the penalty. Would you change that? Would you change it from, the VAR people giving the ref the opportunity to come see and make a decision for himself? This is only handball, not the rest of that stuff, not the other decision, not the foul decisions and the red card decisions. I'm talking about handball itself.
I just think they need to really look at it and see, hey, is there an actual advantage for the defender putting his hand up, stopping the ball? Because again, was it Lima one for Fulham? Like he wasn't even looking at the ball. Like he was literally looking the other way. His hand was down by his leg.
That's the worst one. That's
in a handball.
Like honestly,
at all.
Honestly, Sanchez was just trying to blast the ball out, and it literally.
That's what I'm saying.
If his hand was in an unnatural position, it would have bounced off his body and gone to the same place, and his player would have scored. So I don't even know.
Like on that one, like should you just put your hands up and instead of hit your stomach or your side? Because there's really nothing you can do.
How can you put your hands up in the 0.006 milliseconds it takes for somebody to blast the ball 2 yards away from you and it bounce off you? You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, Mateo said it earlier off the show. Like, consistency is the biggest thing. I'm just looking for consistency, but for me, honestly, like the way that VAR has come in and actually changed the game, I'm not a big fan. I wasn't a big fan of VAR starting off, and then it seemed like it was just the bar. So listen, if this is consistent across the board, then this is the rule we have to go by. Then that's fine. But now it's just kind of shifting up and down, and it's like up to the ref's decision. Like what we got to pick something. You know what I'm saying?
They need to come to the America and talk to the NFL officials and kind of see what they do, because when they call plays, it's very, very quick. Even on the replay, like they're all in agreement that this is the foul, this is the whatever.
Yeah.
And it seems like the referees and then the booth are constantly like, oh, I'm not too sure what this is, and it's like, how do you not know what a handball is? Like, you're all referees.
These are rules. You all wrote the rules, or y'all are a part of the who are enforcing the rules. If it touches his hand and it gives him an advantage, it's a handball. No, I don't know. So which of just these would you give handballs and no handballs? Is Conte a penalty or no penalty?
Yeah, no, not to me.
Maybe.
I said no.
You say no?
Not to me. No.
Well, so maybe the way that we're split.
See, like his hand was just sitting right there, and the ball came to it. It wasn't like he moved his hand.
He stretched to the left, and his hand followed his body.
Yeah.
And it hit his right hand.
Honestly, for me, it's more like the player, how the playing style. You know how Sterling plays like this, but this is more defensive, and Kante, his not Kante's natural movement as a defender looks like he's playing like this, but I'm not sure either. Yeah. I'm not sure.
See, but that goes back to the consistency thing. Like, we can't go based off of every single player. That damn near the referees have a super hard job.
100%.
So
100%.
It's definitely like he moved. Unfortunately, he moved the wrong way because damn sure they ain't call it, but he moved the wrong way and the ball hit his hand. That's a handball in the box. It's a PK all day. That second one though, where his hand is literally on his side at the end of the day. At the end of the day, though, that's a handball.
At the end of the day, it hit his hand and his teammate scored. So according to the rules, that's a handball. And that's what I'm saying. Right. I would be fine with that if every single time we were according to the rules, then all three of these should be handballs.
All three of them. Damn sure that one.
For sure.
Like that one is absolutely a handball.
For sure.
That was absolutely a handball.
But this is how he defends. This is his natural,
that's his style.
Movement. This is his style.
He was just way off balance. Like he was getting mixed up. Ankles are getting a little weak because I'm not sure where this dude's going. Like,
play this super.
I'm playing goalie and just stretch out as much as I can. I'm not sure where he's going.
Past me. I don't care what nobody says. You ain't getting past me.
Well, so like that's the hard thing about defending and playing with your arms behind your back, because the attackers will use their arms to push you out the way, or use their body to push you out the way, and then both your arms are behind your back, so you give up mad space and a whole lane without having your arms there. So
I'll never play with my hands behind my. I play defense too. I never play with my hands behind my back. I'm always be hands out. My hand damn sure gonna be on you, and I'm gonna be to a position where I'm not well, I'm not about to get kicked either, because I mean, my first years of playing, so I took a lot of balls. No homo. No homo.
Pause.
Come on, Mateo. You can't be taking balls though, bro.
I'm
That's
saying,
my first year.
It's a learning curve. It's a learning curve, man. I was coming from American football, so it was a big. I'm asking coach, like, are we wearing cups in this sport? Like, what's up? Because it was just a big difference. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you learn and you develop a style, and once you know the rules, your style, you got to incorporate the rules in your style. You got to know, like, hey, man, there's a possibility that this ball may come to my hand. I can't be just playing with my hands all open out and trying to,
Right.
you know what I'm saying,
Exactly.
defend that way.
Right, but you know, if we're teaching these kids to be stars at this sport from a young age, then the rule needs to be consistent enough.
All the way.
So that you train to that. So that because in basketball, when you're sliding with a defender, you're doing you're doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's not how it is in soccer, then that's not how it is in soccer. All right, well let's shift from the FIFA rules for a second, because I definitely want to get y'all's opinion on this. And I'm gonna start this by saying I've had the hardest time actually finding the full interview on Discovery Plus, hearing the not alleged, it's quoted, but hearing Zlatan quoted by saying that he doesn't think LeBron James should get into politics. I think the actual quote says it's a mistake and it doesn't look good when LeBron James and other famous people get involved in politics. Obviously, we know kind of what happened after that. LeBron hit back in actually kind of a very, well-researched and intelligent way, going like, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Zlatan hit out at Sweden for, not letting certain players, be on the team. But, do you think, my opinion, and maybe it's because I'm a big Zlatan fan too, Chris wouldn't think I am because I'm always talking about Lukaku, but I am a Zlatan fan.
Who?
Exactly.
Only top 3 Serie A scorers. Don't worry, you can look him up. He's in the book. Only the best Belgian scorer ever. Yeah, that guy.
That's better to say. Don't say top 3 ever.
Yeah.
Only the top Belgian scorer for the Belgium team. Okay, which we know is a good team.
He hasn't even passed Samuel yet.
Listen. It's okay. We're not making that comparison. We're talking about Zlatan right now. But Zlatan, Samuel Eto'o or not, Zlatan's over here talking basically shut up and dribble.
Yeah, he needed to chill.
Of it. And I'm gonna keep it 100%. I always think that Zlatan is a clown in interviews, so I was sure that he was either misquoted or what we were reading in the headlines were being taken out of context. But what do y'all think? Y'all think Zlatan's just wilding?
Bugging.
Okay.
Yeah, and I always am on Zlatan's side too. So this time, I'm not with it.
Yeah. You can't. Not in 2021. Like, you can't shut up and dribble nobody.
Especially why he retired from Sweden. Think of it.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
He could still be playing for them.
Even though, did you hear the latest headline that he might be making a comeback for the Euro?
Call up. Yeah, they called him up.
Oh, God.
Did he accept?
Yeah.
This is wild.
He did.
Well, like, it's just funny because isn't his mom Croatian and his dad is Bosnian?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like, you would think because you fled, was it Bosnia or Croatia because of the Civil War? Like, you would think that, like, you'd have some sort of, like, empathy towards, what LeBron is talking about when he's, when he's going off and talking about important things as far as politics-wise, because it's like it does affect you as a human being. And for Zlatan to be like, oh, I'm just Zlatan and it's my opinion. It's like, bro, like, it's like, yeah, like, you're a great sportsman, but outside of that, like, you're just out of your depth when it comes to politics stuff. So just let LeBron do his thing. Like, he's been doing his thing for a minute, like, not just some recent thing. Like, he's been on it for his entire career. Zlatan just score goals, and Zlatan's favorite athlete said was Muhammad Ali. So it's like, how are you not seeing like the parallels between Muhammad Ali and what he was doing and LeBron James?
Is that not fake? Did you just make that up, or is that real life?
No. Like I read, actually, I was watching Skip and Shannon, and they brought it up. Like, yeah, like he's often said that Muhammad Ali is one of his role models, and it's like, if that's the case, then you should probably know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, then I guess it's unanimous. Zlatan. You need to just shut up and stop shut up and dribble people.
Shut up and
Shut up and get
Four
help.
beers.
Yeah.
Just chill.
Yeah, just chill. Yeah, basically just chill. All right, boys. Well, I appreciate y'all popping on. Catch us in a couple more weeks, and we'll figure out what goes on with Champions League. And we'll have another episode of the EPB podcast. Make sure you stick around as I interview 2 young LAFC pro prospects coming right up next. I'm here with 2 ballers I know from playing pickup right around the street. They are the young LAFC ballers of Southern California. I want to say U15, is that right? That's what you told me. I'm here with Justin and Luca. Welcome in. Thank you very much for joining me. As we know, Eat, Pray, Ball is about kind of bridging cultures and understanding, how soccer has touched you, because soccer has had such a crazy effect on my life. So I want to just chat with y'all a little bit about, y'all's experience. But first, what I always ask on this podcast when I have any new guests is, do y'all watch soccer? And if so, who's your team? Justin, I'll start with you.
So I used to have TV, like cable, and that's when I used to be able to watch like all Europe, everything like that. But since I'm from Argentina, the only league basically that I watch is the Argentinian league. So my favorite team is Boca Juniors. Look at my whole room, man. Come on.
I see
my
it.
whole room is
blue and yellow. I like it.
Yep.
I ain't mad at that. What about you, Luca?
Well, my family's Italian, and the Giants of Italy just happen to be Juve.
Hey.
So there you go.
I feel it. So, tell me about this. Y'all are LAFC Academy players. One more time, I'm gonna back in my day. We didn't have academy teams at all. There was just club, and it was school. And then there was as I grew up, things started getting more intricate. PDL teams started popping up, and obviously the ODP, national camps started popping up. Justin, just you being from your parents being from Argentina, I know your dad played soccer. We play with him also. Was this just, something he wanted to get you into, or, was this ever serious for him? Or is he at every one of your games?
Fun fact, actually, he actually never played soccer when he was little.
Wow.
He almost went pro in hockey, roller skate hockey.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
But it's crazy. But since soccer is so big over there, born and raised in soccer.
Right.
So I guess that since he never got to play soccer or do anything like that, I guess that's why he wanted me or influenced me to start playing.
For sure. When did it start becoming competitive for you?
So around like 8 or 9.
That's pretty
we
early.
Started getting a little serious.
Yeah.
Like with club organized, like pretty good. And then as I started like 10, 11, 12, that's about around the time, or 10, around the time where I started to get like scouted, looked at, stuff like that, like coaches coming up to me, stuff like that. And around that time is when the academy started out. And
Got it.
From there on, yeah.
So you're both
almost 4 years now.
You're both products of kind of the almost an upstart LAFC, right?
Yeah.
I went to club with this team out here called SCB Magic, which got bought by Real SoCal a couple years ago. So now it's just Real SoCal Santa Clarita. But from there I went to Valencia, and from around, I want to say 9 to 12, I think 3.5 years, I stayed there, and then I got scouted and moved to LAFC.
It's crazy to hear the scouting thing, man, especially at y'all's age, because it's just something is so foreign to me in America. But one of these days, I'm going to do like an episode where I try to break down different leagues and stuff in America, especially in California, because there's so many. But as dudes who got scouted to come and play for an academy team, tell me like what you think the biggest differences playing for LAFC are versus playing for like a top club team.
I'll say it's a level of like professionalism, like with the normal like club teams, it's not taken as serious. Like I know a lot of kids who like skipped practice just to like go to like a party or something, and that was okay. You know, like the coaches allowed it because at that level, it's not so much like pushing them to get better and better. It's just making sure they're having fun. And then the ones who really like take it seriously are the ones who, you know, move to that next level.
Mm.
And for us, it's like a privilege, like, because we don't have to pay for anything. Everything's given to us, our gear, our boots, everything's given to us. So it's an obligation, but we love it. It's just like, it's like a privilege, you know?
That's a big one.
Yeah, basically like what Lucas said.
Yeah, that is a huge part of being that. So that scouting makes sense. You're getting scouted because you're a good player, and they're investing in you. So you know you want to really show out. I want to say I heard you talking briefly about the national team. Are y'all doing like ODP regions or in the national team right now?
So it basically starts around our age, the 06 age, like the national team, like good level. And they do these things like called camps. They're camps, and they pick out, I don't know, like 200 kids at first, and they cut out kids from there, and it keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And we've had this recent camp in Chula Vista where we stayed for 5 days, and I don't remember how many kids was it?
Well, they
80?
were around
80, right?
12. Yeah, probably around 80, but it was the entire West Coast. So it was like, I think it was a third stage. Was it the third stage of selection?
So.
Okay, so it was at that stage where they got an LA select team, basically the top, like, I think 15 to 20 kids from LA. So LAFC, LA Galaxy, La UFA, LA United. And then they got a Southwest select, Arizona, Nevada, around there. They had an Oregon, and I think they had a Washington, like a Northwest.
Yep.
So they had all those teams there, and they did this like tournament camp thing, right? And from there, they were supposed to pick 20 players in total to move to the whole national camp, right? Basically the last stage of selection, but then COVID said no.
Yeah.
So and from there on, we've had meetings out here on Webex, but from that, nothing else.
Players just stopped.
And we actually ended
this
up
would have been your
winning that
first time.
by the way.
Oh wow, big dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
You won that tournament.
Yeah.
Of all,
Yep.
all the top teams in basically your region.
Yep.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. So this would have been basically your first time to get into the camps and maybe be selected to be on the national team, and COVID has just stopped that.
Yeah.
And so what is the WebEx like? What do they have you doing while you kind of wait till things open back up?
They're more like interviewing. They more like do open like forums with staff, like high level staff and like U.S. legends. We had one with Brian McBride recently, and then before that, I think we actually had a call with Greg Berhalter, the manager of the national team. So
yeah,
more just interviews and
stuff like that.
Yeah. So you get direct access kind of through this system to the top dogs, who make all the decisions for the U.S. teams. So all right, let me ask you this: who do y'all look up to? As we know, we got some players who are playing overseas now in America. We also have the ability, like you said, you're watching Boca Junior games, Justin. You've been watching players for years. Like, are you like finding people out there and trying to like emulate your game? And I'm talking about professionals too. Like, are you trying to form your game around anybody specifically?
So my dad always tries to teach me about like the past, like old players like that, more focused around the Argentinian league.
Right.
Hopefully, you know who Juan Román Riquelme is. Hopefully.
Riquelme. Yes.
That's who I idolize. Come on, man.
Riquelme's your guy. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's all history.
And if you don't know, I'll just say something like Iniesta or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because my type of soccer is not boom, run. No. I don't like that. I like boom, boom, boom,
You
boom,
like touching,
boom, boom, boom.
quick passes,
Yeah.
technical, very technical
Yep.
soccer. And it's funny because they say Americans aren't technical. So
I know.
it's dope that you're looking up to. Obviously, Riquelme is a baller. He's a legend. Obviously,
Yeah.
Iniesta, living legend, just out here. You know, actually, I guess he's retired now. Luca, who you looking at? Like, anybody you try to emulate, or you know, when you're talking to your friends, you know, who's your guy?
Personally, I really like the way that Dybala plays.
Yeah.
I just love his movement off the ball and his constant looking for passing lanes and windows. So I love his technical ability, but I think I try to model my mentality and my physicality from Ronaldo. I mean, he is for sure like the number one when it comes to like performance, like just continuous performance over the years. Over the past like 15. Okay, Justin. Over the past like 15 years, he's had just constant great numbers, and I think his mentality is something to mirror.
First off, you would say Dybala. First of all, Juve's jersey on right now. You got the Dybala cut. And ladies and gentlemen, the man's left-footed. So he would, of course, say Dybala. That's no secret. But it's funny, you did spark off the debate. So I just want to hear a couple words from you because we always hear it, like Messi or Ronaldo. We see where Justin's loyalties lie. You got that picture with your compatriot over there, Messi. So clearly you're on the Messi side, you're on the Ronaldo side. Let me say it this way: if you were to say anything about the opposite player, since I kind of know which players you like, what do you admire in the opposite?
All right, so I think they're different. They're different. It's hard to compare them.
100%.
Ronaldo, he's a machine. He's a robot. He works. For me, Messi, he was kind of like sort of born with it, you know? Like it comes from within.
I feel you.
But
he
I
woke
don't
up
know.
like
It's hard to compare them. I just like, yeah.
Yeah, do y'all get in debates like that? Do y'all does anybody even talk about Messi versus Ronaldo anymore? Yeah, here and there.
Every night.
Every night. What do you think about Messi, Luca? What do you think? Is Messi just trash, or you respect him? He's just
No. Obviously, Messi is he's always going to be in the conversation for greatest of all time. I think Ronaldo is, yeah, like Justin said, they're very different. I think Ronaldo's the best goal scorer ever, right? He's just amazing consistently. And I think Messi is the better playmaker, though. I think Messi is the best playmaker of all time. Just with his technical ability, always, able to find the right passes, able to make the right touches. So I think Messi is ahead of Ronaldo in that category.
I feel that. I'm with you. I'm a fan of both. I lean towards Ronaldo much more, and it's crazy that I do because I don't like to work hard at all. So like I don't try to emulate his work. I'm just kind of like, damn, like he's in the gym after a Champions League final. That's admirable. Let's go back to LAFC for a little bit. I'm curious. I mean, obviously, y'all are winning tournaments and obviously in the national pool at this age. Who are y'all's rivals? Are y'all playing all the other academy teams around the U.S. and who do you really get G'd up to play against?
All right, so in our old league, which was the DA league, we didn't really have that many MLS teams, but the only one that we had was Galaxy, which is probably the most known rival of LA.
100%.
So that's the game that we get most hype for, but they've only beat us one time out of 10 games, and
it's because they didn't play.
Like, come on. But we've had this tournament. It's called GA Cup, and we went to Texas. We all went to Texas. They chose 12 players, but it was a 7v7, right?
Yeah, 7v7, and the games are short too.
Like that, like when they organize stuff like that, they always want to shrink down the numbers. Okay, but whatever. It was mostly every MLS team there, and we were all Adidas. So, and we played all the games. We didn't lose one game or get scored on one time. The whole entire tournament.
Yeah, clean sheet the whole
Make it
tournament.
to the final against Kansas City. Right? We have 30 chances, something like that. Their goal was to make us to go to penalties. That was their only chance
they just sat.
of having any hope.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they sat back and had one big forward at the front. That's it.
Yeah. Shots at the post, crossbar, keeper, close stuff like that.
Tough.
And we end up going to penalties. We all score, everyone scores. And the reason we lose is because of our keeper.
He misses his penalty.
Wait a minute. You're going to call your keeper out on this podcast right now?
No. He was great. He was great.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out. Wait.
No. If we didn't have that keeper, we would have never.
Oh, so you're saying you went through penalties all the way down the list,
all the way to the keeper,
to the seventh kick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is the seventh kick your keeper? Why you didn't have another player on your team?
You couldn't put anyone else in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was a 7v7. You're right. Okay.
That's right.
All right. Damn, I thought I was going to get some. I thought y'all were like wanting to talk shit about your own players out here.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, he was great. He saved us. He saved us a ton of times.
Shout out the keeper. He's a baller, but when it came down to penalties, it was tough. Dang, that's tough. That's tough to hear. So you took home the number 2 trophy. When was that tournament? That's every summer?
No. It was in 2018. They only do it for U12s and U17s. And at the time we didn't have a U17 team because it was like our second year. So the 05s, the age group ahead of us went the previous year. They didn't do so great. I think they finished like 5th. Yeah.
We finished the highest out of all the academy age groups so far that have went to GA.
Super legit. I feel it. So all right. So then what is this? Is this like serious stuff? Like is everybody who's on your team like looking to go pro? What are your thoughts? Would you want to go pro? What's your future with soccer?
Yeah. Obviously. I feel like that's mostly everyone's dream that plays soccer, at least. On our team, I believe so too. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, at least.
Yeah, definitely.
Same for me. I think everybody who's made it to our team has that dedication to go all the way. For me, it's same. I hope so much that I make it that way, and I very much want to make that happen.
I like that. You have that drive. What are your coaches and mentors? And if you want to shout anybody out, you can. But like, what are they telling you is necessary to make that next step, if anything?
So, throughout us playing on LAFC, we've had like a weird mix and change of coaches throughout the 4 years almost, I think. And we've had like 2 coaches in the beginning and they left. Then we had a second coach. We did really well with him. That's the year that we came second in that tournament, and we lost 2 games the whole entire year. That whole year with that coach, and the academy said that wasn't good enough, so they gave us a new coach.
Wow.
And then that coach came and we did worse.
Oh man.
And there was a whole drama with him. It was really bad. So he got kicked. He got sacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad. And now we're like with a temporary coach that we don't know if he's gonna be our final coach. But yeah, we're going. It's kind of weird.
So still some kind of system issues, with yeah, that makes sense. And so do you all have separate, again, this is academy team. You guys are made to be more professional. Are there like training days, or is it just, Tuesday and Thursday we go to training kind of thing, like any other club? Are there like weight room sessions or media sessions, anything like that? No. Okay.
Well, we used to. We used to before we were sent home for the biggest break of all time.
Yeah.
We used to do Monday was a recovery session, so because we just played on the weekend. We would do like small-sided games, really just getting our touches back. And then and then Tuesday was off, and then we had Wednesday, which was like a strengthening session. So we did a lot of physical work with our physical coach. And then Thursday was film day. We would watch our film from the previous game, and then right after film, we would head out to the field and work on errors that we needed to fix up for the next game.
Okay, so you are getting almost the pro treatment. You're doing physical training. You're doing film room. How does that interfere with school? How does that mesh with school?
Well, I guess we're sort of used to it by now, so we know where we get out of school, do all the homework, because it's kind of close to it. Well, I'm talking about before, not now, because now
things are just crazy. Yeah.
But we have to stay focused, do school, and if you have bad grades in school, you don't play. You can't play.
Mm-hmm.
So they monitor your grades.
You're focused, and your main focus is on soccer.
Got it.
Yeah. So for the first half of the day, while you're at school, you have this one brain. You're super focused on school, so that once you leave, once you get home, you're able to go to training. For me, I got a ton of homework in 8th grade. I don't know what they were doing to me back then, but I would have to do my homework in the car on the way to practice, and the stadium's like an hour away from me, so I was normally able to get it done, and if not, I would just do it on the way back. So it was really like having two mindsets every day. Yeah,
almost the life of a student athlete. What's the thought about that? Like, is there any thought of like college or anything, or are we already in a world where, I mean, obviously you see guys from FC Dallas at 18 going off to play in Italy and things like that. Not trying to put you on the spot at all, but like, is the mindset just ball? However, wherever ball takes me, or is there a desire to go play at UCLA even, or something like that?
For me, if what we said about like going pro right away does not work out, maybe college is the second option.
Okay.
It's going to college, doing school, while doing school, playing soccer, trying to do the most you can, and then try and see if you can go from there.
Yeah. That was, I mean, it was the only option, back in the day, unless you were really pushing overseas. Like, it was like you had to go. I mean, almost that's the American system, right? You got to go to college so people notice you, and then you can get, pulled into an MLS draft or something. Is there any pressure? Yeah. Do you feel any pressure, like, to be great, or are you just going out and playing at this point?
Well, I think I don't feel a lot of pressure. For sure, there's some when you're playing really well over like a couple months span, and you get moved up to a higher age group. That's when you start to feel like the pressure of, okay, they think I'm good. I have to try to keep that for as long as I can. Try to keep this form. That's really it though. Once you break that ice of moving to another like age group, then the pressure starts to melt away and you get more comfortable. Yeah.
That is.
And the other thing, like the final step, that the pressure of going to the final step, becoming pro like that. The only pressure that really comes to me is trying, like, basically to make my parents proud, basically, because without them, I wouldn't have been able to go to the games. They wouldn't have been able to take me to practice, everything like that. And also to give back to them, like the house, everything, just raising you,
That seems like every athlete's dream. Like, you always want to you want to make your life better so that you can make your family's life better, right?
Yeah.
You don't think your parents would be proud of you if you stopped playing tomorrow? Crickets. All this effort, I drove you left and right, driving you an hour to the stadium. You gonna stop? Okay, all right. You don't have to answer that. Well, all right. I got just a couple more questions for you. One is what else are y'all doing? You know, what else are y'all into? You know, movies. I mean, obviously it's COVID and stuff like that. And you know, soccer. Obviously, soccer doesn't stop. You're still training. You're still playing pickup. But you know, what else? You know, what else? What are your hobbies? What other hobbies you have?
I recently started getting into computers, and by recently I mean like a couple months ago. So for Christmas I got like a couple PC upgrades, and while I was swapping out parts, I realized I liked it a lot. So I started helping my dad out with his, and it's all kind of really the same as like swapping out parts in a car. You know, it's really like just Legos almost. So anything like that, I enjoy.
I'm with that. What about you, Justin?
I've never had anything like a console or anything like that, unless you want to play Wii. But I like ride my bike a lot, like around the neighborhood, or maybe go buy groceries or something like that. I also draw a lot.
Yeah.
Which I like to do.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's like a feeling of like all I can think about is ball, or all I do is ball. But if that were ever to stop for whatever reason, you know, maybe, you know, there's millions of reasons that have nothing to do with you not being good enough. You know, is there ever, and not necessarily that you have to even at this age especially think of a fallback plan, but like, is there ever anything else that would interest you? You know what I mean? But that's where that question came from. That wasn't a question itself. So before we get out of here, I know you've seen like some of these young guys coming on the scene in England and Europe, in South America even, who are like popping. I mean, shoot, Vinicius went to Real Madrid at like 16, 17. That's like 2 years from now. Like, can you see yourself making a leap even to like an academy team overseas? You know, have you played against competition at that level? You know, is that even a thought for you, or is it just kind of like, let me just keep playing, see where I get?
Well, how things are going right now with all this going on, doesn't look like it right now.
Yeah.
But unless things start getting back to normal, hopefully, yeah. It's almost been, I don't know, like 8-10 months without playing a game, like a real game, competitive, ref, team, everything like that. It's bad. It's bad. Like, you can't lose that much time.
Do you feel like you've lost anything? Do you feel like you've lost a step, or?
What I feel like is me and Luca are lucky, because we get to go play at the fields like Wednesdays, Sundays, stuff like that. But most of our teammates, I don't think they've gotten to do anything close to that. You know?
They there are some that haven't, and the first couple practices back when we started doing in-person trainings, you know, you could like tell, you know, that the only thing that they've had for them that they've been able to do was the Zoom sessions. So we're definitely lucky that we're able to get out and play.
Totally.
And especially against men.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, I think that's super important. Like I used to play up a level. But y'all don't ever go and play against like the U20 teams or the U18 teams or anything like that?
If the team is super bad and the age group is not good, our age group is not good, we'll play an older team.
Okay. But they keep you pretty structured in your age group most of the time.
Yeah.
And let's say like friendlies, sometimes they try and test us and we play like, let's say like an 03 or an 04 team.
So they normally test us with like bigger, just older and stronger players that like lack the technical side, so that they force us to both at the same time make us learn the way to outplay them and to like raise our physicality a little bit just to match with them. I know. A year ago, I want to say maybe a year and a half, we played the USC women's team.
Oh,
It was like really like scary because we went out for a friendly. We thought it was just going to be a friendly. They didn't say the opponent. And we saw this massive bus like right outside the stadium. We were like, what? And we went in and there's just like the USC women's team there. We played
you got
them.
a win, no?
Yeah, it was a win by no, it was by a lot more. But it was.
Wait, well, what was
I
the
think
win?
it was like it was like a year and a half ago when we were like U13s. I want to say, maybe the very beginning of U14. It was preseason, so we played them. I think we won like 5 or 6-0, but we had to play around them more than normally just running through them, like we would with kids our age who don't have the physical side.
Interesting. So you played a college. I mean, I don't know how well the SC women are doing now, because I know UCLA women are like top of the NCAA.
Yeah.
But you played a college women's team, and granted, I've played women's semi-pro. We've done college women's games, and I'm big. I'm much bigger than y'all, and I've been knocked over, outrun, out hustled, and y'all somehow technically found a way to really destroy them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the bar. That's the bar that most of the coaching staff set for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes we beat a team 12-0 and they get mad. They ask for more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. You know, you never know who you could play in the future. You need to be dragging teams if you're that good to drag teams. Have y'all had an issue? We had a mercy rule in high school. If you scored more than something like eight goals in the first half, or if something like that, or more than 10 goals, the game would be they would end the game. Do y'all have anything like that?
No. I think
Sometimes what we would do is put the keeper or some of the keepers as like the 9, 11.
Oh yeah.
And they've actually scored before.
Dude, okay, so our keeper went up this one time, right? Because we were winning like I think it was 8-0 against a not very good team, and he had like. Okay, I'm just not even gonna give this like way too long, but he had like shoulder problems, right? So he goes up, and it's like the last 5 minutes, he scores like a banger, right? he scores a goal from like the top of the box, and he's going to celebrate, and the entire club is running to him to celebrate this goal, right? Because this is massive. Our keeper just scored.
Right, but this is like now 9-0 too. So y'all are like assholes running on the field.
Yeah. That's why they got mad at us.
Yeah, they got mad. But we went to celebrate, and he slid on the floor and dislocated his shoulder.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is this the same keeper who kept you in that 7v7 tournament?
No, different one.
Okay, a different guy.
Different one.
He's like the second. He's like the second keeper or the third.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. Y'all are in the American youth system. Is there talks about how to advance this sport? With coaches, with players, in any kind of training you're doing, and if so, how do you think it's going to be possible? How do you think the U.S. is going to go and get into a finals of a World Cup?
From the youth level, I would say pay to play is like gotta go, or like some restructuring of it, because there's a lot of families that simply just can't afford it, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of like talent from like in other countries comes from those players who have that desire, because they don't have really anything else. So I think if you're just taking out that entire like section of our like country's talent, then how are they ever going to be seen?
100%. I'm with you on that. Do you still see it? Do you still see, some of the more rich kids in the bigger tournaments, and so, and kind of maybe some of the more politics, like, you know, his dad is the coach and he's the starter, you know, best player on the team. You still see it?
Yeah, it's not often, but yeah, you see it sometimes.
Okay.
It's not great.
Okay. And those are the teams you gotta beat the most. Well, Luca, Justin, I appreciate y'all sitting down with me and talking a little bit. I actually love this. I hope y'all maybe come back on and talk a little bit with me as y'all's careers progress. But definitely good luck after COVID. Good luck in the future. And this has been fun. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Fun.
It was fun. Thank you.
A lot of fun.